Good morning, or good afternoon, depending upon what time you are listening. Today is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. This time space sequence we call July 9th, 2019. Thank you so much for listening to the audio blogcast podcast presented to you by freeyourthinkingmind.com. My name is Sean Speaks, and I will be reading the blog post from the website from today entitled The Prison of My Choices, Part 1. The Prison of My Choices, Part 1. Going forth, the blog post and blogcast will be presented on Tuesdays and Fridays of each week. We will definitely, however, in between time, have some bonus episodes with some special guests, hopefully. But today I'll be reading the blog post from today entitled The Prison of My Choices, Part 1. Our affirmation for today: I maximize my life potential no matter my circumstances. I maximize my life potential no matter my current circumstances. We may not all have the same abilities or natural talents, but we each have maximum potential opportunity to live a beautiful life of our own design. We cannot maximize our potential opportunities wasting energy on jobs that don't fulfill us, wasting energy on relationships that don't nourish our souls, wasting energy on belief systems either internally or externally that don't presently empower us, wasting energy on financial systems that don't maximize our wealth capacity. To see the ineffectiveness of our activities, we may need to get objective about ourselves and our choices. Objectivity is hard because it requires us to have an honest, internal, no BS conversation with ourselves about our truths, about our self-talk, about our choices, about other people's choices, about our behavior patterns, and about our self-beliefs. Question: are you willing to acknowledge your own internal negativity about yourself? I had to accept on my eternal, objective evaluation of myself that I was a covetous person. Now, maybe not so much today, but I was. But for the longest time, I was never willing to acknowledge to myself that I was jealous or covetous of others and their things. I would act happy when others got their blessings, so to speak, but I was internally mad that my blessings were taking so long. What about me? I would ask to myself. And my habitual cliche internal response would be, my blessing is on the way. Truth be told, I thought life was unfair, and I became a complainer. Even if I kept my complaints to myself, my internal frustration to have more or become more caused me to constantly compare myself to others. I wanted to be more like others and less like myself. Living life in comparison to others averted me from my own uniqueness. I couldn't appreciate being just me. I always stayed mad at life for some deficiency or wrong it seemed to be giving me. I always felt like there was not enough money for me, not enough love for me, or not enough satisfaction in life for me. Life worked against me, it seemed, and life disgusted me sometimes. I can never get what I wanted, I whined. I wanted to live my truth, but felt like I just couldn't. It would cost me too much. People would think I was crazy. I thought I was disgusted at something outside of me for blocking my blessings. But after an objective evaluation of myself, I really was just disgusted with myself. I never realized that my viewing life as an inadequate provisioner made life an inadequate provisioner. I discovered a new awareness that maybe I was my own blocker of my own next best life. Do you really get to live? Do we really get to, our question, do we really get to live our truths in this life, or is that just reserved for the rebellious ones? For most of us, we fight against the truth of what we really want because it doesn't match what Big Mama said. Instead of aligning ourselves with ourselves, we waste our energy in this life attempting to align ourselves with what others say. We don't know how to live authentically. And when we try to do so, we are labeled rebellious. We don't believe we get this right to live here on earth as we see fit for our lives. It's always about, what do they think? We usually choose to cry because we think authentic happiness is an illusion. We remain poor because it takes time to deconstruct the generational belief that wealth is a blessing to be received from the outside, as opposed to an internal mindset to be constructed. Let me rephrase that. We remain poor because it takes time to deconstruct the generational belief that wealth is a blessing to be received from the outside, as opposed to an internal mindset to be constructed from the inside. And even for me, despite my greater awareness, I still keep getting trapped on the same behavior loop, doing the same things, but expecting a different result. Like one of my ex-friends used to say to me, "Sean, you just don't damn change." And he was right. I didn't want to accept the responsibility of the change I needed to make. I had to accept that I was special in this time-space sequence, special enough to believe that what I want in the now of life matters, even if that earned me the label rebellious, or even if that means I lose that which I love. If I'm not living the life I really want, then I have to accept that I was making choices to live a life that is less than. I look back over my life and I see that it was my unwillingness to choose differently that delayed my own blessings. Let me repeat that. I look back over my life and I see that it was my unwillingness to choose differently that delayed my own blessings. I was making the choice to stay, even though it was clear he didn't want me. Can you relate? I made the choice to stay on a job that was clearly unfulfilling when I knew I had a great business inside of me. Can you relate? I was making the choice to stay broke because I refused to change my internal mindset about money and wealth. And instead, I chose to wait for the blessing to be received or to be given to me. Can you relate? When you look back over your life, you just might find that your blessing was delayed because of your unwillingness to choose differently. I acknowledge the prisons of my choices that I made for me, and I had to be honest that it was my choices, no matter the great reasons I made them, no matter the justifiable reasons that I made them, but it was my choices that blocked me from the life I wanted. I had to become willing to use my intelligence to deconstruct the mental and life prisons of my choices I made. Our affirmation for today: I maximize my life potential no matter my current circumstances. I maximize my life potential no matter my current circumstance. Please definitely stay tuned for part 2 of this series of the prison of my choices. It will be aired on this Friday. Thank you so much for listening to the audio blogcast podcast presented to you by Free Your Thinking Mind. This is Sean Speaks, and just wanted to give you something to think about. Please definitely go over to the website and subscribe and share. Please definitely subscribe and share to our blogcast at freeyourthinkingmind.podbean.com, or go over to our YouTube channel at FYTM Network and subscribe and share. As always, we just wanted to give you something to think about. Ashe, free thinkers, ashe. May what you say manifest.